Hey, welcome to It's in the Next Pack. In this episode, I'm actually going to do something a little different. We're going to be building something in my little corner over here that I've got going on. So this is where I film everything. This is where I'm opening my product. I'm doing my things like that. Just on this simple black table in my room. And I've got this green wall, obviously, as my background and, just the way my room's painted. So I've noticed for every other opening creator, they've got cool backgrounds on stuff when they're opening their cards. And I don't have that. So I thought to myself, I got to make something cool. So what we're going to try to make is I got inspired by, I was like, what do I put back there? I open football, I open Pokemon, I open Magic. Like, what do you put back there? I don't have, memorabilia. I don't have things like that, right? So what do you put back there? Well, since the other day, since I graded this bad boy and a few other cards that are coming in graded, I thought I'm going to make like a shadow box for my graded cards to put back there that's lit up, just looks super cool. And the inspiration for that came from my records that I collect, and they look like this. I'll show you right now. So this is my record setup I have in my room. I'm a huge fan of vinyl records, so like I just put up, these little acrylic shells, made this little 4x3 grid, and then I actually built the what the records are stored in there. I built that just custom made just to fit all the stuff I want. You see my card product down there, and then I built those speaker boxes too. So I figured I'll try something along those lines. We're gonna build this cool graded card shadow box. So check it out. Let's go set up. So here we are. We're set up in my garage. Gonna be getting some work on. So what we got going on is we've got our saws. We got our table saw down there. We're gonna be making the shadow box. I've got this 1x2, just some simple things, and we're gonna put some channels in here, and that's where the graded cards are gonna go into. We've got this, this is the backing board, pretty simple. Just gonna put that back there. So I'm imagining, a box, cards slide in, 2 levels deep, I'm thinking, and then there's gonna be light all around it. It's gonna shine through and show us what we got. So let's scope it out. All right, so here we go. So I'm gonna start by making these channels, and these are where the graded cards will slide into. So what would be best if you had a stationary router bit of some sort, but I don't have that. So what I'm doing is I'm creating these channels using a table saw and just moving it across the fence 1/16 at a time. So then after that, we're cutting these to the sizes that I had measured at. I based all my measurements on my light. My light is 6.5 feet long, so that's where I'm going from. So I want it to be perfect in linear dimension to the light. I'm gonna find out that's harder for my brain to calculate than I thought, so I'm messing up heights and widths left and right, but that's okay. My tempers did rise a bit because I actually am a kind of a short-fused person, but luckily I have Anna, who's very mellow, and she can help me as I work through these mistakes. But here we go. At this point, I'm drilling out some holes. These are where the graded cards will go into, and so that's pretty cool. So we're doing that part in the jigsaw here, and we're hitting to the next phase where I'm cutting the backing. Well, once again, I miscalculated depth, so everything I'm doing here is useless. I actually have to recut that out of MDF because I did not add the width to the face frame, so it was 1.5 inches too short. So now I'm assembling all these pieces together. I'm finally getting it figured out through all the frustrations of my poor calculations, and that's it. Okay, so this is what we ended up building yesterday. I saw that you can see that the cards do slide in and out of the side here, the graded cards. So we ran into some unforeseen problems. One thing I did is that initially I miscalculated how tall this needed to be. It ended up being too tall for what I was wanting. So to fix it, I just ripped this piece down 1/4 inch, and that seemed to be perfect. So then after building it, that's what we did. But by ripping it down 1/4 inch, I messed up. I didn't think about the channels. So then that created a problem where I didn't find out until it was after it was built that the graded cards could not slide in here. It was just too little. So then at that point I wanted to break it because I was a little frustrated, but Anna and I ended up getting a Dremel and channeling out these things like 1/8 of an inch on each of all these channels that we had made, just so the cards could fit. It worked, they slide in and out now, so problem averted. So then the next issue that I ran into was initially on the backside here, you can see I was wanting to put lights on the inside. Well, I thought about the bottom, but apparently I didn't think about the sides or the top. So with the top, to make it work, I had to do a janky cut off the table saw because it was already built, and we took out this piece that the light could then attach in here. And on the sides, to fix it, all I did, I thought I'll just make a face frame and it'll cover the side lights. So that was problem fixed. Well, we go inside, we test out the lights on the cards to see what it looks like. Well, when the lights are on the back side of the cards, they're weirdly backlit. It's super dark and you can't see them anyway. So then we tested with the lights on the front and they look good. So all of that effort turns out that we're not even gonna put the lights in the back of the box anyway, they're gonna go in the front. So that creates another set of issues now for me today. So what we're gonna do is now I have to make a face frame to cover the lights that are gonna be on the front. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make a face frame. We're gonna paint this, paint the backing board, assemble it all together, and then the project should be pretty close to complete. All right, so this is the next phase. Like I said, we were gonna make a face frame. So this is it, this is the face frame. I just made it out of scrap MDF in my garage. So what I did was I just cut them to the dimensions. I had pre-measured these things. So hopefully, I think I cut correctly. This will be the moment of truth because we already painted the other one, and this should go over it. So here's the back side of the frame. So the light, imagine the light all tucked down on the inside here. I'm gonna have to figure out where to drill a hole for the plug to go through, but this is the face frame. I sanded and routed it, ripped these things so it's got a nice round edge, and we're gonna paint this too. And then once we get that settled, we're gonna secure this to the front after we secure the lights through it and we make a hole for the cord. And then it should be about done. There's a few little touch-ups at the end that we're gonna wanna do, but this is the face frame. Okay, by this point in the project, this is where we're at. So we got the backing painted black, nice. And this is the frame we've been working on. Obviously everything's painted black, so this is the center of the piece. The graded card slide in here. This is gonna go like such on there. And then here's the front frame I was talking about, the light. It's gonna go inside here and on the front of the cards, like such. So that's kind of the finished project. Imagine a light shining down that way. And then yeah, Anna and Saoirse helped me paint these. So the next step is gonna be to attach the lights and then to secure all this stuff together, and then we should be done. All right, so we completed it. Anna and I had just mounted the lights inside. We've screwed this thing together. It's done. It looks pretty epic. So how we do is, I've only got 5 graded cards at the moment, but they go in the sides here. You can fit quite a few. That's the idea, is that you can switch out as you feel the need to. So they go in, and then I'll show you with the lights. It's pretty cool. So they go in like such. Throw in the graded cards. Then we'll turn on the lights. So you can kind of see that in action. Boom. You can change them how you feel. You can change the colors on there. It's pretty cool. Just for laughs, let's turn these off. We're gonna you can kind of see it that way. We'll turn off this light too. Pretty cool. It's just for fun. So it's a nice shadow box. You can change the colors any way you see fit. You can make it any way you want, really. But that's how it is. It came out really cool. The project's fun. And that's going to be the new background for when I open cards. So with that said, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And I'll see you in the next pack.